What's up, everybody? This is Johnny English with Broken Man Radio. This isn't a vaping thing or anything like that. This is actually Broken Man Radio. This is a subject that I would normally deal with on my show once we do come back, and we are going to come back. We are definitely coming back very soon. Something I wanted to talk about real quick. This is going to be hitting the news. The mainstream news has already picked it up. And, of course, the alternative news is going to be picking it up as well. Tomorrow, they'll just be running rampant. You'll be able to hear it on just about every show. Well, at least the ones that actually are doing what they should be doing. If you haven't heard, I'll put the link in the description of this news story. The one I'm JJ on my Facebook page. Thank you so much for posting this, and Joshua as well. I been looking at this, and I cannot believe, I've been reading the comments on the story. I can't believe that people are actually believing that this is a murder-suicide. And I'm going to read this. Apple Valley couple, child dead in apparent murder-suicide. I don't know who it's a parent to. It's obviously a parent to the idiots who wrote this story, or whoever is directing them to write this garbage and put it out there in the mainstream and hope, well, they're not going to have to hope very much, because let's be realistic here, folks. Most of you are asleep. Most of you are sheep. You don't want to stir up the pot. You just want to keep living your stupid lives and keep your cars in your garage and be able to brag and keep your great jobs and your big houses and swim in your pools and entertain your neighbors and get drunk and have sex with everybody and do whatever it is you want to do. You're not concerned with freedom, and you're not concerned with what's really going on in the world and the evil, the evil that's going on and has been going on for years and years and years, and how at some point we could have changed it, and we still could, but you're not going to get off your lazy ass and do it. You're not gonna wake up. You can't, because you might lose something. You might not be able to drive your Escalade or your new Corvette or whatever it is you drive, and you're not going to be able to entertain your family and friends and brag about what you have and all that good stuff. You're not going to be able to do that. You're not going to be able to go to whatever the favorite store is you like to shop and buy your overpriced clothes. You buy it just because you can say that you have it. Just garbage like that. You're not going to, because then all that might go away. You're afraid that might disappear. You're afraid. And you're always going to be afraid. You're going to be sheep forever. And hey, the end's coming soon, so it doesn't matter. But it does matter, because we could have fixed this a long time ago, but we chose not to. Okay, we're all totally responsible. But anyway, Apple Valley, Minnesota, Apple Valley couple, child dead in apparent murder-suicide. And I can tell you right now, and I'll tell you at the end when I'm done with reading this story, why I think it was not a murder-suicide, that it was obviously a murder. It was definitely a murder, but not a murder-suicide committed by this man on his family. I wish I had the technology, or I've got the technology. I just don't have the program to show you. I would show you and scroll through the story so you could see it and read it for yourself. But I will have the link in the description. Hopefully the link will stay up and you will still be able to see the story. But a couple and their child were killed in an apparent murder-suicide in Apple Valley, police said Sunday. So Sunday, they reported this. Saturday is when they found the bodies, Saturday the 17th, around 1 p.m. Now, the police would not identify the victims on Sunday. However, a neighbor who discovered the body said they were David Crowley, his wife, Cornell. I think it's Cornell or Kamel. I'm going to say Kamel. I don't know her. I apologize to the family if I screw this up. And their 5-year-old daughter, Rainey. I'm going to guess that's Rainey, R-A-N-I, Rainey. The neighbor, Colin Prochnow, P-R-O-C-H-N-O-W, said he had a passing acquaintance with the family. His wife, Judy, said our grandkids would go over and play with their daughter. Now, keep in mind, this child was 5 years old. 5 years old. So if the people next door had kids that were that young, grandkids that were that young, then they allowed them to go over to their house and play. That means the houses had to be fairly close. Okay, they weren't half a mile down the street or a quarter mile down the street. They had to be really close. And if you saw a picture of the house, you would see it's just an average house, a one-car garage, attached garage. It's something you'd see here in Iowa. It's a Midwest, standard Midwestern town or house that's nothing special. You know, it's nothing special, nothing big or anything like that, just an average house. And obviously, it was probably in a subdivision, some sort of subdivision, not low income or anything like that, but just an average subdivision. You know, average house, average subdivision. This person, David Crowley, you're probably wondering. I haven't gotten to it yet. You're probably wondering, well, why is it so important that this David Crowley got killed and his whole family? David Crowley made the trailer for a little movie called Gray State. Gray State. Gray State. Google it. Go Google it, and you'll understand. Please, let's see. Where did I leave off? The neighbor, blah, blah, blah. It isn't known exactly when the three died, but the prognostics believe it was near Christmas. Okay. Almost a month ago, they believe that there was no more life seen in the house. That's when they stopped seeing signs of life in the house. It's what the story says. I assume they had gone somewhere for Christmas. However, this is the 17th at the time, the 17th when they were discovered, the 17th of January. So we're talking 3 weeks past Christmas, almost a month, and they haven't seen any sign of life. The neighbors became suspicious last week when they noticed the same lights on in the home day and night. So after a month, they finally got suspicious. Colin Prochnow decided to check on them Saturday. As he approached the front door, he noticed Christmas presents sitting unopened on the doorstep. He peered into the house and saw 3 bodies and a handgun on the floor and then called police. According to police radio messages recorded by the Minnesota Police, or mnpoliceclips.com, so mnpoliceclips.com, police reported finding the obviously deceased bodies on the first floor of the home, along with a very angry dog. So the dog was still alive. The dog looked thin, and he was already skinny to begin with, Prochnow said. According to David Crowley's LinkedIn profile, he served in the U.S. Army. After 5 years, I had had enough and left to pursue filmmaking, unquote, the profile says. Crowley, who attended the Minnesota School of Business, wrote and directed a movie, Gray State. The trailer for the film shows FEMA agents spying on and killing hundreds of Americans. The tagline for the film is, "The Second American Revolution may not be remembered." YouTube videos show him promoting the film at several events, including a Ron Paul rally in Florida in 2012. So I guess he made the movie. He didn't make the trailer. He actually made the movie. Twin Cities actor Charles Hubble starred in the trailer for Gray State, which appears to appeal to conspiracy theories. Hubble said he doesn't believe that Crowley, whom he described as efficient, disciplined, passionate, and inspirational, believed fully in all the conspiracy theories of government takeover that make up his film. Now, that I'll believe, because I think there's a lot of people that do internet radio that don't believe it. I think there's a lot of people that do alternative news that don't believe what they're saying. I don't think they believe it at all. I think they're trying to make a buck. That's what I think. And this is probably what this guy was doing. Unfortunately, he made the wrong movie. That was his problem. He made the wrong movie. When we talked about Gray State, I told him I'm not really into conspiracies, Hubble said Sunday. I told him I'm a Buddhist, atheist, tree-hugging liberal, which in itself doesn't even make sense, because you can't be a Buddhist if you're an atheist. You don't believe in any gods. You don't believe in any religion. But I digress. And with a wink in his eye, he said, I'm just trying to get something out here. He always had that wink in his eye. He told me he had found a niche, a target audience, and could feed off that niche. So again, this guy probably was just trying to make money on the conspiracy theory crowd, the the alternative news crowd. And that's, hey, it happens. It's happening all over the place. Why do you think I left for so long? I just got sick of it. Other people having other agendas. They're trying to suck you in, talking about things they think you want to hear, but their hidden agenda doesn't come out until later. Like they want you to believe their new age garbage, or they want you to believe some other garbage. They suck you in talking about FEMA camps and blah, 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 and all this other crap. And then, in the meantime, they're slowly working you. They're slowly working you like a sideshow act. So it's kind of what this guy was doing. So I don't agree with how this guy was doing this. But the fact is, he made this movie, Gray State, about FEMA camps and all this other stuff. And I'm sure the powers that be, whoever they are, well, we kind of know who they are. They probably weren't real happy about it. And it was probably gaining a lot of popularity because people don't usually get taken out until they get to a certain level. That's why you see so many people doing videos. That's why you see so many people doing internet radio and doing alternative news, because a lot of them don't even have the following to even raise an eyebrow. They're not following, even if they have 1,000 listeners or 1,000 views or 1,000 subscribers or even 5,000 subscribers. That's not enough to catch any attention. That's not enough to really raise any eyebrows of the people that are actually running the show. They don't care about that. That's just a few thousand people. But Gray State, kind of grabbed a few people. They grabbed a lot more people. And there was a chance that people were going to look at this and go, whoa, maybe this isn't really a conspiracy theory. Now, I know it's not a conspiracy theory. I know FEMA camps exist. I know all these things. I've seen enough evidence to know that they exist. The Crowley family would come to the Hubble house for dinner, and then they left at the end of the night, or when they left at the end of the night. Now, this Hubble guy, remember, he's one of the actors in the movie, and he was kind of, I guess, close with Crowley. Hubble said he and his wife would stand in the doorway watching the couple leave and say, "It's always great to have young, gorgeous people come to our house and look as happy as they are." Now, for one, I don't believe for a second this guy stood in the doorway with his wife and said that. I don't believe it. I think that was sensationalized, because that's just not something you say. You don't just, that's like something you'd see in a movie. Seriously, that line is something out of a movie. "It's great to have young, gorgeous people come to our house." Oh. No, that's bullshit, is what that is. They were gorgeous, and they had this happy and bubbly and talkative child. That I believe. And they are a good-looking couple. Don't tell me yes, they're a good-looking couple. I wish I could show you. I'm proud of them. They're good-looking. And they had a great kid, I'm sure. David and Kamel Crowley met and married within 3 months. Happens. The pair met in Texas, where Kamel lived and where Crowley was stationed. So he was stationed somewhere down in Texas. They married shortly before Crowley deployed to Iraq, which probably happens quite a bit in the military. Probably happens quite a bit. They knew right away that they were a team and that their marriage was going to happen, Hubble said. Hubble knows a lot just meeting this guy. I mean, I'm sure he spent a lot of time with him and stuff, but whatever. Crowley's LinkedIn profile shows he was in the military from June 2004 to August 2009, so 5 years, and was stationed in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Germany, as well as Texas. After the couple moved to the Twin Cities, Kamel, who is a registered dietitian, received a master's in public health and nutrition from the University of Minnesota in 2012, according to her website, mindbodydietitian.com. Mindbodydietitian.com. The Crowleys had talked to the Hubbles about moving to Los Angeles, where Kamel could pursue a career as a dietitian, which I'm sure it's, Los Angeles. And I'm sure she would have done quite well. And Crowley could work as a writer and filmmaker. Hubble said he was blindsided and shocked by news of the deaths. He seemed more grounded and focused than would lend itself to anything chaotic, Hubble said. The entire time I worked with him, there was nothing aggressive or chaotic or strange or abnormal. He was one of the ones I was hanging my hat on, one who was going to succeed. Twin Cities director and filmmaker Paul von Stetzel probably, said that David Crowley and his colleagues were good people and had huge dreams for their film careers. Von Stetzel had met with Crowley early on about possibly writing the script for Gray State. Von Stetzel said people liked and respected Crowley and his business partner, Mitch Heil, who ran a video production company with David Crowley and also co-owned with Crowley the Bullet Exchange, a company that trained actors to use weapons and military and police gear in film. Heil said Sunday he was heartbroken over the deaths. He's been one of my best friends since high school. He said the couple had a great marriage. The two men were friends in high school and then joined the Army together. After basic training, they were stationed in different places, but came back together again in the Twin Cities to form their actor training company. Heil hadn't spoken to Crowley since September when they had parted ways in business. He said it was normal for Crowley to hunker down to write and then surface several months later, so he didn't think it was odd that they hadn't spoken. Crowley was a charismatic leader and creative person, Heil said. When it came to business stuff, he was the brains behind everything. I was just there assisting him to reach his vision. Although Crowley had met with people in California about getting Gray State made, nothing had panned out. He was a great person, a great friend. Police didn't issue any other details about the crime. I guess he didn't make the movie. I guess the trailer is the only thing that got made. Now, see, I'm all confused. But anyway, he did. At least we got the trailer. I guess he was shopping the movie around. The investigation continues with the help of the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension and the Dakota County Sheriff's Office, which I'm sure nothing will get done because police agencies, we all know, somebody's going to make a phone call, nothing's going to happen, and that'll be the end of that. It'll be swept under the rug. They're going to call it a murder-suicide like they already are. They've already laid the groundwork. The very first story that comes out is murder-suicide, and they expect you to believe it. Now, here's why I'm telling you it's not, okay? It's not because I have a gut feeling. That's not it, even though my gut feelings are about 80%. I'm good on 80% of my gut feelings, and that's with people, anything. The reason I think that this was not a murder-suicide, this guy lived in a house that was close enough for someone to let their grandchildren, small grandchildren, to go over to their house and play with their child. The neighbor didn't say he drove over to see what was going on. He obviously walked over to the house to check on them because they, were worried after a month of no life at all. And all of a sudden, you go somewhere for Christmas, you're usually back by at least the second week of January. Come on. But almost a month later, he decides to go over and check. He obviously walked over. So that means the houses are close enough. Now, I don't know how many of you have actually fired a weapon before. I don't know how many of you have actually been out in the field and heard a weapon fired. And it doesn't matter if it's a handgun. Obviously, a rifle is going to carry longer. But I can tell you right now, that without a shadow of a doubt, that if a gun without a fire suppressor, without some sort of silencer, was fired in that home, every house, every light, every phone would be buzzing to the police. It would be so loud and it would be so pronounced that everyone in that neighborhood would have called the police, would have looked outside. They would have found some reason to get police there. There's no way in hell that this guy killed his wife and his child and nobody knew about it for a month. There is no way. It is impossible. Unfortunately, a lot of you idiots are going to believe it. A lot of you people are going to believe the news story, and you're going to come up with every excuse in the book. Well, maybe the entire neighborhood was gone for Christmas vacation. Maybe they were all gone. Maybe they were all blaring rap music. Maybe they were all singing Christmas carols around the Christmas tree and their fireplaces. Maybe that's why they didn't hear this gunshot go off. The story didn't say the gun had a silencer on it, although I guarantee you a reprint will probably have a silencer on the gun. Or another story that comes out is going to add, they're going to slyly add a silencer to that gun that's laying on the floor. These people didn't commit suicide. This guy didn't murder his family. These guys were taken out. This family was taken out, and it obviously either A, had something to do with his military training, it's something to do with the military, B, had something to do with this stupid movie. I guarantee you, and it kills me that a majority of people are going to believe that he actually did this. I didn't know the guy, but you're all these people saying all these great things. If this was such a great guy and nobody knew, this guy that worked closely with him, Charles Hubble worked closely with this guy every single day shooting these trailers. Any of you that's ever done any kind of video production, you know it's work. It's hard work, and it takes time to do. Doing these stupid videos take time to do. I'm telling you. The story's bullshit. There's definitely something going on here. Unfortunately, most people aren't going to believe it. They're gonna toss it away. Oh, you're just a conspiracy theorist, Johnny. Get your tinfoil hat on. You know, you just worry about your tinfoil hats. We'll worry about, our day-to-day grind. Yeah, I got one of those grinds too. And I just get angrier and angrier and angrier every day. Just because I've been off the radio, just because you haven't heard from me in a while, doesn't mean that I'm not paying attention. I am paying attention. I'm just so frustrated, and I've been so frustrated with alternative news, I just didn't want any part of it. The station I was on, they had another agenda, and they're promoting another agenda. A very anti-Christian, very pro-New Age, and I didn't want any part of it. And I am coming back. But I just wanted to throw this out there before it starts gaining ground, and maybe if I can reach 2 or 3 people that saw this and they just didn't even pay attention and don't care. You need to care. You need to pay attention to these stories, because people are dying every day for what they believe in and trying to fight for whatever. Even though this guy's intentions might not have been real as far as the alternative news community, it's still, this movie had the potential to reach people and to show what's really going on, and somebody didn't want that out there. I think we know who those somebodies are. So with that, I'll let you go. Take it for what it is. Stay asleep, whatever you want to do. I don't care. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm going to keep putting until they take me out. If they do, if I don't get that popular, who gives a shit? I'll just keep talking. I'll just keep putting stuff out there. Whatever. If you want me, you know where to find me. That's the way it is. I'm John English, Broken Man Radio, brokenmanradio.com, and we'll catch you next time.